Welcome to the Concrete Briefing. I am your host, Carter Concrete. Tonight, we are conducting a high-stakes investigation into the anatomy of a fracture that has sent shockwaves through the foundations of hip-hop culture. We are dissecting the dissolution of a brotherhood that once defined an era of Harlem excellence. The legendary bond between Cameron and Jim Jones. This is not merely a celebrity dispute. It is a complex intersection of street ethics, modern digital algorithms, and the deep-seated cultural history of the urban brotherhood code. Tonight, we analyze the facts, explore the linguistic roots of their conflict, and argue the reasons behind this cold reality. For decades, Cam and Jim were the blueprint, a unified front of fur coats and Range Rovers. However, the landscape has shifted from legendary anthems to a digital battlefield of Instagram back and forths. The technical breakdown of this fallout began when the jokey joke energy turned into something far more clinical and cold. Our first major argument focuses on the boundary of disrespect. In the urban community, there's a precarious line between clowning and genuine disrespect. When humor involves leaking inside information, mentioning specific investors, and disclosing private business amounts, the street code dictates that a line has been irrevocably crossed. In this culture, your business is your fortress. To leak the blueprints of that fortress is to invite a bonfire. Let us analyze the formal logic behind this escalation. The core grievance here is a betrayal of transparency. In a formal journalistic sense, we must understand that for these individuals, their brand is synonymous with their word. The argument intensifies when we look at the response from Jim Jones, often referred to as the capo. When Jones responded to jokes by telling parties to pull up, the situation transitioned from a comedic exchange to a street-level confrontation. A central argument we must illustrate is the impossibility of maintaining a dual stance. You cannot claim a joke while simultaneously issuing a physical threat. The logic of the brotherhood does not allow for such duality. As the saying goes, you cannot steal second base and keep your foot on first. To truly explore the story, we must analyze the psychological and cultural influences on these personalities. Jim Jones represents the new age influencer archetype. He is an opportunist who understands how to leverage the digital algorithm to maintain visibility, whether through building tours or lifestyle tutorials. Culturally, he represents a shift where engagement is the primary currency. However, when he is targeted by someone who knows where the bodies are buried, namely Cameron, the modern algorithm fails to protect his personal feelings. On the other side, we have Cameron, or Killicam. Linguistically, Cameron's humor is a weapon of Big Brother energy, sharp, cutting, yet occasionally possessing a little bit of love. We must also consider the Aquarius factor. Some argue that as an Aquarius, Cameron possesses a natural cut-you-off energy. Traditionally, this personality type can make an individual cease to exist in their world. Yet, we argue that the fact that Cam continues to poke the bear suggests a deeper psychological tie. You do not continuously check for someone you have truly erased from your soul. For Jim, this bond is even more visceral. He has historically referred to Cam as his heart. We must place this in the context of Black urban culture, where the brotherhood formed during the come up is viewed as an unbreakable covenant. Seeing this bond fracture feels nasty to a fan base that was there for the entire journey. When we compare this to other historical hip-hop breakups, the stakes become clear. Is this a Hav and Dame Dash situation, a relationship widely considered dead for good, where love is only offered from a distance? Or is it a 50 Cent and Ja Rule scenario, where the animosity is eternal? There is a glimmer of hope found in the history of Cam and Maze, who reconciled after decades of silence. However, the counter-argument is sobering. Some argue this beef has already lasted longer than the group's actual time together. In some instances, when too much has occurred, you simply cannot return. Despite the tension, one fact remains. The Dipset brand is the eternal link. Observe the visual rhetoric. Jim Jones still appears in Superfly Dipset leathers. Cameron responds while donning Dipset fatigue gear. This is our primary argument for potential reconciliation. As long as both men claim that flag, the window remains cracked open. They are both inextricably tied to a legacy that transcends their individual egos. If the separation were absolute, they would cease to use the name. Ultimately, what we are witnessing is the painful fracturing of a brotherhood under the immense weight of the spotlight and the dollar sign. It is a story of two grown men navigating real hurt and legitimate business disputes. For the culture of Harlem and the fans who remember two kids riding for each other, we hope for a resolution. But the question remains for you, the viewers. Is this the final chapter for the diplomats, or just another volatile Versener saga? I am Carter Concrete, and this has been the Concrete Briefing.